Hello and welcome to our session, Postgraduate Psychology at Macquarie University. My name's Hannah and I'm currently in my honours year of our Bachelor of Psychology degree, and I'll be speaking with our course directors for our 4 postgraduate psychology master's programs. So we have the widest range of offerings in New South Wales, including the only master's programs for both clinical neuropsychology and organisational psychology in the state. So depending on your areas of interest, this is a great way to have a look at the career options and just kind of the course structure and entry requirements. So hopefully we can answer some of your questions today. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land. We're currently on Wallamadigal land of the Darug Nation. So today I'm here with Professor Joanne Earle, who is our Master of Organisational Psychology course director. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm really pleased to be here. Thanks for having me, Hannah.
No worries. So today I guess we'll start a little bit with kind of what are the kind of pathways or career options that you can get from organisational psych? Because I know this is a really, really common question.
It is. And I think people would be surprised at the number of organisations that have organisational psychologists. So most large organisations nationally and internationally, a lot of organisations in banking, finance, insurance, but also within the community as well. So, for example, the Rural Fire Service. And it's also probably interesting for people to know that a lot of roles are emerging. So the roles that we talk about now, there'll be new roles in 2-3 years' time. So, for example, one area that's been really in growth is risk management in banks, for example. That's a area where it's mostly serviced by organisational psychologists.
Yeah, because I know kind of a lot of people that I interact with in my course, they know that kind of human resources in the corporate are often common, but it's really good to know that there's a wide range of career options and that kind of thing as well that you can go into, which kind of definitely expands, I guess, the career options. Yeah, definitely.
So organisational psychologists might work alongside HR practitioners as well,
yeah,
but we're more likely to be brought in as specialists in different areas like learning, training and development, psychological assessment, organisational change and development, leadership, staff appointments and staff management. So we might be helping to recruit, large cohorts of new graduates, for example.
Yeah, well, that's really good to know. How about our entry requirements? So what are the kind of requirements that we should be looking for to apply for a Master of Org Psych?
Well, we always look for a good GPA, so we want to look for some consistency across the course. We're looking for an honours degree or the 4th year equivalent and at least around a 2A and above. And we also look at work experience. So we're interested if we can see some alignment to organisational psychology and work experience, but it could be customer service, it could be retail, it might be interviewing or working with people in some sort of leadership capacity within the community, or counselling skills. Sometimes people have done some counselling skills. All of those things we look at. The other thing we look at is a motivational statement. The best motivational statements we read are those that understand what an organisational psychologist does, and they've linked their strengths and their attributes to what the organisational psychologist will do.
Yeah.
So we're looking for that nice match between here's what an organisational psychologist is, I believe, and here's why I think I'm suitable.
Yeah. I guess you want to know that people are passionate about the subject as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I guess from that, if say you are then admitted to the Masters, what is that pathway like into becoming a registered psychologist?
Right. So once you finish the Masters course, you can get general registration. So you become a psychologist as soon as you finish the 2-year Masters course, and you put in your application, of course. But once you've done that, then you go into a registrar program. And the registrar program allows you to get supervision over about 18 months with a endorsed supervisor or a recognised supervisor, and then you'll become an organisational psychologist.
Okay, so I guess with that registrar program, can you just clarify what is a registrar?
Yeah, a registrar is really someone who's already generally registered and then they're working towards an area of endorsement. So in our case, it's organisational psychology.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess
Yeah.
before we kind of wrap up, what is that, because I know you mentioned that I guess there's some practical elements of that master's as well.
Yeah,
What does
definitely.
that practical element look like? I
Yeah.
guess in terms of the time, you know, how you can be recognised by employers and that kind of thing.
Sure. So the course really has a number of different components. There's coursework, and it covers off some of those topics I spoke to you about before. So psychological assessment, teams, wellbeing in organisations, etc. So all of those different topics you would cover. You'd also do a research project that's aligned to an area of interest, and you'll do placements. There's 1,000 hours of placements that we organise, usually over 3 different types of organisations. So we're trying to give you the widest possible exposure to different areas of organisational psychology, so that by the time you've finished, you're able to make a really good informed decision about what you'd like to do in your career.
Yeah.
And it also exposes you, very fortunately, to some employers of organisational psychologists. So it's really an opportunity for you to try them, for them to try you, and to see how it fits, as well as developing competencies that match the course content that we've taught you.
I think it's really good because, especially in my undergraduate degree, having that theoretical knowledge is great. And I think then going to the masters and being able to apply it is really, really important as well.
It is. And we help with that. We help find the placements and organise the supervisors, because that's a really big undertaking in itself.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the points that differentiates our program as well, in that what we have is a placement coordinator, and their role is just to help you to navigate the paperwork and to meet the supervisors and to bring the supervisors on board, so they understand what the students are going to need to do and what our requirements are.
Great. And just one last question. What do you love about organisational psychology?
Well, I've been an organisational psychologist for quite some time now, and I can tell you the variety is amazing. So I started off in occupational rehab, and then I worked in internal consulting in an organisation as an organisational psychologist. And then I went from there to work with an international company that was the Gallup organisation. So I went to Omaha in the US to do my training with them, and then I worked out of the Australian office and managed Australia and New Zealand research projects for them. So it's been an amazing opportunity, and that's why I love what I do now, to give that next generation of organisational psychologists the opportunity to have a career that's been as rewarding as mine.
And you've definitely had a wide range of things as well that you've been able to do.
Yeah, one of the other jobs was training manager at Pepsi Cola.
Oh, wow.
Lots of side benefits.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Joanne.
My pleasure.